The film opens a teenage boy awakens in an underground elevator without memory of his identity. A large group of male youths greets him in a large grassy area, called the glade, enclosed by massive stone walls. The gladers have formed a rudimentary society, each taking on specialized roles. The boy learns that a vast maze encircles the glade and is their only means of escape. During the day, designated runners search the maze for an exit and return before its gate closes at sunset. After a fight with Gally, the boy remembers his name is Thomas. Thomas is attacked by Ben, a runner who was stung and left delirious by a griever, one of the biomechanical creatures that roam the maze at night. The gladers force Ben into the maze, as there is no cure for his condition, and leave him to die. The next morning, Albie, the glade's leader, and Miho, the lead runner, retrace Ben's steps inside the maze. However, as the sun sets, Miho reappears near the gate, dragging a badly injured Albie who has been stung. Unable to reach the glade in time, Thomas runs into the maze to help, leaving all three trapped. Thomas is chased by a griever but manages to lure it into a closing passageway, crushing it. The three survive the night and return the next morning. A girl arrives in the elevator with 2 syringes of griever antivenom and a note saying she is the last to enter the glade. She recognizes Thomas, but he does not remember her. Gally accuses Thomas of disrupting the peace between the gladers and the grievers and insists he be punished. However, Newt, Albie's second-in-command, designates Thomas as a runner instead. Thomas, Miho, Frypan, Winston, and Zart enter the maze to locate the griever's corpse and retrieve a mechanical device inside of it. Miho later shows Thomas a maze model based on previous explorations and explains that numbered sections open and close in a fixed sequence. Thomas realizes that the device corresponds to a specific section of the maze. One of the antivenom syringes is used on Albie, who recovers quickly. Miho and Thomas venture back into the maze with the device and discover a potential exit but are forced to retreat after a series of traps suddenly activate. Later that night, the maze entrance remains open, and additional gates open up, allowing grievers to invade the glade. Albie, Zart, and many other gladers are killed, leading Gally to blame Thomas for the chaos. Thomas, who has been experiencing fragmented memory flashes since his arrival, stabs himself with a severed griever's stinger to recover his memories before receiving the last dose of the antivenom. While unconscious, Thomas remembers that he and Teresa once worked for the World Catastrophe Kill Zone Department, WCKD, the organization behind the maze, and that all the gladers are being used as test subjects for an experiment. He awakens and reveals his past. Having taken command overnight, Gally plans to sacrifice Thomas and Teresa to the grievers, believing it will restore peace. However, several gladers free them and enter the maze together, while Gally and a few gladers stay behind. Jeff and several other gladers are killed by grievers as the rest escape through the maze exit. The gladers eventually reach a laboratory strewn with corpses. In a video recording, a WCKD scientist, Ava Page, explains that massive solar flares followed by a pandemic caused by the flare virus has devastated the planet, and the gladers were part of an experiment to find a cure for the virus. The recording ends with Page shooting herself as armed personnel storm the lab. Gally, having been stung by a griever while following the group, declares that they will never be free and fires a gun at Thomas. Miho spears Gally, but not before he fatally shoots Chuck. As Thomas breaks down crying over Chuck, masked soldiers arrive and escort them to a helicopter, which flies over a vast desert wasteland toward a ruined city. Later, the supposedly dead scientists gather in a room with Paige, who remarks that the experiment was a success and that the survivors are now entering Phase 2.